Welcome to Sam's Garage, presented by NHOU Undercoating. Coming up on Sam's Garage, our Bandit Trans Am project is finally buttoned up, and Atlanta's own Tim Phillips takes the wheel to see if this build lives up to the legend. Then Wade stops by to check out a Mustang with a secret under the hood, an LS swap so clean it'll fool even the sharpest eye. Next, we roll in a 49 Chevy Street Rod with a modern HEMI for some much needed maintenance, an oil change, wheel balance, and safety checks to keep it running strong. And finally, we're at NHOU's facility where JR, Taylor, and Joey show us the right way to apply rust protection and the equipment that makes it all possible. All that and more right here on Sam's Garage. After 6 months of wrenching, the Trans Am is finally finished, and we've got a special guest behind the wheel. Straight out of Atlanta, Tim Phillips takes the Bandit build for a shakedown. The car looks good, it sounds mean, but the big question is, will it run? It's time to find out Sam's Garage style.
This is Mark Morgan. He's from Virginia. He's a fan of the show. He had the 79 Bandit. It's all numbers matching. So we took out the 400 small block Pontiac, and we're going to put an LS engine.
Yeah, it's a beautiful engine, and it's a great way to start the season off with such an iconic car. Everybody loves Smokey and the Bandit.
We're going to be installing the engine and transmission. I've got a good friend of mine's son here, Sterling Kester. So anytime you guys do an upgrade like we just did, where we swapped out the whole powertrain, you're going to want to update the instrument cluster so you got proper readings and you can monitor your new investment. It really turned out nice. Maybe we can resurrect the Bandit to come pick it up.
That would be really cool.
That would be cool. Finally got the Trans Am done. Sure, it took a year, not really. It took about 6 months, but you can't rush perfection. And I got a special person test driving this car. All right, we got our own Bandit, Tim Phillips from Atlanta, Georgia.
Sam, the car looks great, and it sounds great too. But will it run?
There's only one way to find out.
Bye-bye, baby.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, I'm not a ride share.
Oh, great. Well, that makes two of us. Does this thing move?
Oh yeah.
Does a cop taking a leak on the side of the road interest you?
Yeah, it does, honey. He's taking a 10-100.
Better than a 10-200.
Let's see what he's got under the hood.
Really, Bandit?
These things happen, Sam.
What'd you think of the car?
Man, the car's a speedy car. Speedy car, you did well.
Thank you so much. Who do I send the bill to?
Big and little Enos Burdett.
Got it.
Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. Wade drops in to check out a Mustang with a big surprise under the hood. What looks like an old school FE is actually a clean LS swap. Thanks to Holley's full lineup of parts, it bolts in, it runs strong, and it keeps the classic Ford style, proving once again, cool is cool.
My good friend Wade stopped by, so I said, you know what, dude, check this out. I got a Ford, and he was here when the 347 was in it. And so I shocked him. What do you think, Wade?
I think it's amazing. I mean, it looks like a big FE motor, and it's an LS.
It is.
Incredible.
It's pretty cool. And you're right, it does look more like an FE than it does a Windsor. It could look like a Windsor only because of the individual ports that make it look like a Windsor on an LS, right?
Right.
It's small, it's got the same type of frame as a Windsor. I didn't even have to cut the mounts off on the K-member to make this thing fit.
Just bolted right in.
It just kind of bolted right in, a little welding, that's it. But man, it's pretty cool, huh? That low car front kit on it looks really good.
The distributor makes it, and I'm really curious. These are hooked to the plug wires.
Yeah.
These are actually the plug wires.
Yeah.
You literally are running a front distributor on this thing,
Is that pretty cool?
but there's not a distributor here. That's crazy.
That is pretty crazy. But that's the magic that what makes this look old school.
It
You know what I
really
mean?
works. It
The
really
front
works.
runner, you know, they all have the same, you know, you can look at different motors and you see, you don't really care about the front runner. But when you look at this, that's what your eyes is on. And the only thing that you can see is that LS series on that MSD box.
Black spray paint, take care of that.
There you go, yup.
No problem.
And what made it easy was he had a sniper on the 347, or should I say the 302, and he had a bracket, right? So this bracket made it very easy for me to just R&R.
Same 4-bolt flange. You just take this off,
Yeah.
slide in an LS, set it back down, bam!
And now you got a reliable Mustang.
Crazy.
It makes double the fuel economy.
And probably does wicked burnouts.
Absolutely, that's what the whole purpose is. So what we gotta do now is fill up the fluids. We got the power steering, the coolant, we have the transmission to fill up. So when you get those things done, a few little electrical connections, and this thing should be ready to drive on the street.
And do burnouts.
Better do burnouts. If it doesn't, I'm in trouble.
Oh, it'll do burnouts. It'll do burnouts.
All right, so what Wade and I just did was button up the crucials, really. When it comes to the alternator, you wouldn't have charging without a ground strap because we got painted, anodized deal, make it look pretty, right? There's always a price to pretty. And then we went and hooked up the power wire for the AC compressor. We do have to run a ground there, same situation with the alternator.
Right.
Luckily, the oil sending unit wire we just took out of the loom, out of its bracket, and it was able to reach.
Because
right?
we know on a 347, it's way down on the left front corner.
Yep.
But here, on our FE motor,
Yep. That's all good to go. All right, we got VIC 66 Holley LS swap completed. Now you guys, if you want to do an engine swap, like I said, go to Holley.com. They got over 70 brands under their belt. They got everything you need, whether it be a domestic or an import. And so what do you think, Wade?
I think it's awesome. I mean, it looks great. The best part is when you open the hood, somebody's gonna look at it, they're not gonna know it's an LS right away. They may figure it out, but then they're gonna go, wow, that's really cool.
That's pretty cool. And you guys, cool is cool. Some people don't like Chevy engines and Fords, like a HEMI engine in my Chevy.
Right.
But cool is cool. So this is one of those situations where it's cool and the hood closes and clears by quarter inch. Hopefully it won't torque too much, huh?
Inch is as good as a mile.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for coming by and helping out.
Thanks for having me.
Nora. She is a hot rodders of tomorrow. She's been doing this, getting her hands dirty, and you've been working with your dad building torque converters and welding,
Yes.
and you love it.
Yes.
And even if you decide not to do this as a trade in the future, you still have the knowledge where you can work on your own cars and do it with your future kids one day, right?
Yeah.
And that's very powerful. We were donated this Porsche by Mike Giamarco from the Porsche Club of America. This group of kids who are in this trade school who want to be future tradesmen have got together on a Friday away from their normal school curriculum, and they volunteered their time. They called themselves the Gearhead Academy, and they had to completely rebuild this Porsche, taking out the engine, redoing the whole interior, everything. So we went to Robbins Auto Top in Oxnard, California. They were generous enough to donate the top for the Porsche project. So I want to say thank you to you guys. We went to Angel and Mark over at iBox Suspensions, and they were nice enough to donate the suspension and the sway bars for the project. And the future kids can come and see the examples of their work and projects, and they want to do their own academy and put in their own time on Fridays and do this project and continue this on.
Welcome back to more Sam's Garage, presented by NHOU. The 49 Chevy Street Rod with a modern Hemi is back in the shop. After 700 miles on its fresh build, it's time for some routine maintenance, an oil change, wheel balance, and some chassis inspection. From simple service tips to keeping custom classics road ready, Sam shows how to keep the miles rolling strong.
All right, so I got my brother's Chevy HEMI project back in the shop. If you guys remember, I built this with my brothers on season 8, 9, and I put 700 miles on it. So it's time for a little bit of maintenance, and there is no dipstick, so I'll show you guys how to make sure that you get the right capacity of oil in your engine. And I'm gonna balance the wheels, because when I got the tires from Tire Distributors of Georgia, I did not have my Corgi Master 28 tire machine and balancer. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil. I got me a new Ford filter, put new fresh oil in it and balance the wheels. And I gotta do a little bit of maintenance on the running board for the passenger side. I gotta do a little bit of gusseting for reinforcement so that the next person that steps on it, it won't bend away. So what I like to do when I pull in a car for any kind of service is I want to first roll down the driver's side window just in case something happens. Then what I want to do is I'm going to keep the key in a position to where I can still turn the wheels. Before I rack it, I'm going to open the hood, check the fluids, take off the oil cap, and put it upside down somewhere where I can visually see it. That's going to tell me that there's no oil in the vehicle. Now that I've got the oil cap off, I've got everything good, it's racked up, I'm going to go up in the air, I'm going to make sure I'm on the locks of the rack, I'm going to drain the oil, completely drain the oil. While the oil is draining, go ahead and pull out your flashlight and do a good visual inspection underneath the vehicle. Look at the brakes, look at the tires, the alignment wear, check the whole thing out. Make sure that you don't have to recommend anything for the customer, because when it comes to the front end and the steering, it's all about safety, so you want to make sure they're safe. So anytime you guys are doing a maintenance on your car and you have greasable joints, in this case being that it's on a 92 S10 chassis, I do have several points where I can grease the suspension. So I went ahead and did that. And if you guys remember last time that we worked on this truck, Bob Douglas from Rod End Supply came in and we did sway bar end links and new tie rods. So right now when I hit the left blinker, because my wheel is a little bit cocked to the left, it doesn't allow to terminate on its own. So for me to bring the steering wheel back straight, it's just 1/4 of an inch. So I have to lengthen the tie rod on the front side of the control arm. I will do it equal distance on the passenger side, and that's gonna get my steering wheel straight again until I make it to the alignment shop. So in this case, I need to go 1 full turn on both. In my case, because I had a little vibration, so I went ahead and balanced the wheels. And because I have a staggered setup, meaning the rear wheels are wider than the front wheels, and I have asymmetrical tires, meaning that they only go on one way, they're not directional. So in this case, what I did was I swapped the wheels left to right on both the front and back. That way they go into the opposite direction, and it'll keep the tires smooth and quiet for a long time. So now that everything is good, we've got the wheels back on, we've got the torque back in, put it on the ground, go ahead and check and make sure you have the proper oil capacity in your car. Let's say you don't have a computer like I do. And so what you want to do is, if it's a V8, you start with 5 quarts. Put the 5 quarts in, crank the engine, let everything fill up, and check it. If it's a V6, start with 4 quarts. If it's a 4-cylinder, start with 3 quarts. Then when you're all done, turn on the lights, do a good light inspection, make sure everything is working, because I can't tell you how many times I'm going down the road and the car in front of me has got no brake lights, and all I think about is, man, that guy's lube tech completely failed them. All right, so for those of you who may not be familiar with this truck, this is a 1949 Chevy truck, sits on a 92 Chevy S10 chassis, and it has a 2006 Hemi from a 5.7 Dodge truck in it. And it worked out really nice. It's got a 5-speed TKX behind it. I did not have to cut the firewall, and nothing really matches as far as the lines go, but it's an awesome rat rod that everybody loves and enjoys seeing driving down the road, and that's what it's about. When these things sit, no different than when we retire, they start to die. So don't do that. Get out there and drive your custom cars.
Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NHOU. We're back at the NHOU facility where rust protection gets hands-on. JR and his son Taylor walk us through the proper application on a Ford F-150, while Joey breaks down the tools and systems that make it all possible. From prep to spray, this is how NHOU dealers keep vehicles protected for the long haul.
Back at the NHOU facility, and this week we're going to be showing you about application and the equipment used. We got JR and his son Taylor. They're actually dealers, and they're going to be doing all the instructional pointers today as far as the application goes. And of course we got Joey. He's going to be explaining the equipment.
So I'm JR with JR's Oil Rust Proofing. We're going to kind of go over what we just did in the bay there in the shop. So we were oiling a 2013 F-150. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the windows and the glass to minimize overspray from getting on your windows. And then we're going to go through and fog the body cavities, insides of your doors, your fenders, box sides, tailgate area.
What about you, Taylor? What are you going to be doing?
Most of the time, my job, when we're spraying, I help prep. I mean, we blow it off, get any dirt out.
And so what exactly, I mean, I know you guys spray mostly everything, but I see you guys do the bottoms of the doors, the door jambs, anywhere that there is two dissimilar metals that are attached together, you spray everything you can, right?
Yeah, we spray everything we can. In those areas, we'll spray the hinges, we'll spray the door latches, anything that's a moving component in the vehicle, we'll spray.
That's cool. Now, JR, where exactly is your location?
We are located in central Iowa in a small town called Zering, Iowa.
That's where you have a website?
We do. It's jrsoilrustproofing.com.
Awesome. And Joey, everything we see here is what you would need to apply the NHOU oil, correct?
Yeah, well, there's some choices, different levels here that you could choose, depending on the volume of vehicles that you're doing.
And now we're going to have Joey go through and explain the equipment piece by piece and what you guys would need and what he recommends. All right, so we got a lot of equipment here on the table, and Joey's going to explain to you exactly what the equipment does and what you need in your application.
The first piece of equipment most people start off with is a cup gun system. This is a very common one here. You got a plastic quart cup that goes on it. You hook it into your air compressor, usually around 60 PSI. You got your spray nozzle on the gun, and that is a great gun to get you started. Problem with that is you can't do every single cavity, so you could upgrade to a different style cup gun like this, which is a fogging cup gun. The wands are much smaller. You can fit it into tighter spaces, especially if you're trying to do inside the door, going to the drain hole. We have pressure pot systems like that one right there. That is just like the fogger gun, but it's 5 gallons, so you're not continuously filling up quart cups. But let's say you go beyond that and you want to save more time, you can go to a high pressure spray system. No filling, it drops right into a 55-gallon drum. We have an airless gun that goes on it like this with a 50-foot hose that comes off. It just sprays straight product, 1,400 pounds of pressure. And then we have a fogging gun that comes off of it. It's got a dual air regulator, an air and a product line to go into it.
Now what about the hoses themselves?
They're 50-foot hoses, you know, so this one's just high pressure hose. Single line, which is the beautiful thing about this. This hose here, you have to have, unfortunately, but you have to have 2 hoses because you have to have one for the air and one for the product.
What about storing your equipment? Let's say you don't have a high volume and you want to store it. Do you have to clean it out completely or can you just store it?
No, actually, especially with our oil products, you don't have to do one single bit of cleaning on any of the equipment. It can sit there for months and months, the oil doesn't dry.
And if you guys want to be a dealer or a franchisee, check out NHOU, get with Joe, get with Joey, and start yourself a new business. If you have a current business, add on to it. You're going to make money, you're going to put smiles on people's faces and protect their investment. Thank you so much, Joey.
Appreciate it.
Be sure to check out Sam's Garage on these other media platforms. Send us questions and feedback to info@samsgaragetv.com. Today we saw the Bandit roar back to life, checked out a Mustang's hidden LS power, and gave the Chevy Street Rod the attention it needed to stay on the road. Plus, we learned how NHOU dealers protect their vehicles for the long haul. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching Sam's Garage, where every project is built to drive.